So hello everyone, welcome. We're going to do an hour of forest yoga this morning. You don't necessarily need props. I will give you variations if you don't have props, but if you do have things like yoga blocks or maybe even just like a cushion or something, in case you need to like pad out underneath your knee or pad out under your hip or something like that, then please feel free to kind of have them nearby. And we're going to start our practice today in a comfortable seated position. So just start to make your way there. It doesn't matter whether the legs are crossed, extended out in front, or if you're sitting on the heels. What's most important is that you are just completely comfortable in your seat. Resting the hands down wherever they naturally fall. And beginning to gently close your eyes. So taking a little bit of time as you find your way into that comfortable seated position to move into stillness, to have a sense that the energy of your body is starting to settle. And when it feels right for you, start to switch on your deep belly breathing, your Ujjayi breath. So it could be that you're just breathing as deeply as possible and feeling an expansion and retraction in both the belly and the rib cage. It might be that you're taking it further by restricting the back of the throat so that you can hear your breath moving through. And just start to tune into where you are right now. The sensations that you can experience in your body. The rate of thoughts moving through your mind. And exploring how deep you can allow your breath to travel. In our practice today, we're going to think about how we can start to bring a sense of sattva, meaning harmony or equilibrium, into our practice. I'm sure that we all feel like times when we've had a really good yoga practice, we've had times where there's been dynamic postures, where the breath has become perhaps slightly more difficult to control. We feel the heart beating in our chest. And then we also have those moments of pause and of rest so that we feel ready for the dynamic moments, and so that we feel that at the end of those dynamic periods, we can just completely stop and soften, recuperate. And the same goes for postures. When we realize that we're starting to master a posture or move deeper into a posture, we often realize that it's not about either completely just flopping into it and being really soft and letting it go, and at the same time it's not about being completely rigid through the whole body. There's this balance of spaces in the body that feel switched on and active versus some spaces in the body which are able to soften and relax. And it's by finding those spaces of softness that often we can move deeper. So everything moves into a sense of equilibrium, a sense of harmony. So let's just start our practice this morning with a simple pranayama. We'll do some Kapalabhati breathing. And again, for this breath, although it's a dynamic and quite forceful breath at times, we need the belly to be really, really soft. So we need to have that almost yin-yang balance. So when you're ready, just starting to flicker open the eyes. I always like to bring one hand onto my tummy for this, because then I know that I'm really using the abdomen to push the air in and out. So if you haven't done this before, it's a nice big breath in, and then it's some short, sharp exhalations, which sound a little bit like this. Okay, we're going to take 3 rounds of 30 pumps. I'll count for you, and so I'll count you down for the last 5 so you know when to stop. And between those rounds, we'll take a moment just to take a big inhale and a full exhale, and then we'll continue into the next round. So with hand resting on belly, let's just take a nice deep inhale through the nose, a full exhale out, let it all go. Now inhale about halfway and begin that pumping breath. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice deep breath in. Full breath out to rest. Breathing in for the second round. And begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Full breath out to rest. Last round, inhale and begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice deep breath in. Big breath out. Just start to move back to your deep yogic breath or your ujjayi breath. Feeling how the prana, the energy in the body has changed. Maybe you feel like your internal fire has been stoked slightly. And then gently start to flicker open the eyes when you're ready. Okay, so we're going to start our practice today in shoelace, otherwise known as double pigeon. So this is quite a deep hip opener. If your hips are feeling super tight today, just sit cross-legged, left leg in front of the right. Otherwise, you're going to have your right shin parallel to the top edge of the mat and stack your left shin over the top. So you should end up with your knee stacking over an ankle and ankle stacking over top of a knee. And again, if the hips are tight, you might feel like you're more like this, which is fine. If you have cushions or blocks or something, you could even pad out that space between the knee and ankle. So don't worry if you don't get that perfect stack. It's not ideal. First thing in the morning, I know. So just getting yourself into that space, placing the right fingertips to the mat alongside you. Take a big inhale and stretch your left arm up alongside your ear, moving into a nice side stretch from here. So big inhales. Think about breathing all the way down into your sit bones, feeling them grounding you down into the mat. And then on your exhale, soften into your right elbow so that you can lean over to one side a little bit further, finding more space through the left side of your body. Gently begin to relax your neck, allowing the right ear to move down toward right shoulder, and just let the weight of your head hang completely heavy. Now start to fire up your ujjayi breath or your deep yogic breath. And explore where your breath can move into. Inhale, feel that you're expanding the left side ribs. Exhale, feel that your fingertips on your left hand are active. You're spreading the palm wide. Another couple of big breaths here. See if you can soften into the right elbow a little bit more to deepen the side stretch. Good. On your next inhale, let the left arm draw you up to the top. Now pause here. Keep the head heavy, right ear to right shoulder, moving into a chest opener. So the left arm is on this diagonal. You could even take your right hand onto the side of your chest, big breath in. And then as you exhale, allow the back of your left hand to move toward the space behind you so that you feel this really lovely opening in the left side chest, in the pectoral. With the neck relaxed, maybe you're starting to also feel a bit of a neck release here as well. And you can also explore that deeper by just moving the positioning of the chin until maybe you find a really juicy spot where there's quite a lot of tension or tightness, and you can just pause there and breathe nice and deeply into that space. So although we've got this nice dynamic and quite deep stretch for the chest and the neck, notice that you're able to relax your jaw, soften the space between your eyebrows. That sense of finding your edge, that space where you feel the challenge, but you can still breathe into it. One more deep breath in. Gently bring your right hand onto the side of your head, just to take it back up onto the center line. And we'll move into a twist. So the right fingertips come behind, the left hand crosses over the top foot. And if you wish to take this deeper, see if you can bring the left elbow into the sole of the foot. Maybe making a fist with the bottom hand, spreading the right hand on top, and then pressing down to begin to twist through the torso a little deeper. So regardless of which variation you've chosen, think on your inhale that you're lengthening through the crown of the head to create space through your spine. And on your exhale, you're pressing away to begin to revolve the body around. And again, you might want to relax the neck here too. See if you can gently soften the shoulder blades away from the ears. And allow that sense of softness to radiate all the way down into your belly. Well done. One more full breath in. And exhale, unravel yourself, come back to the front, straight to second side. So you might want to give the legs a little shake out. I know it's very intense. Again, you're either taking cross legs with right shin in front of the left, or if you're coming into double pigeon, you're stacking the right shin on top of the left. So remember, again, you're thinking knee over ankle, ankle over knee. And if there's quite a big gap between your knee and your ankle, use a cushion, use a block, whatever you have nearby, just to pad out that space. Otherwise, you can stay there with the knee hovering. It's not too bad. Just be really careful if it feels painful for the hips. So left hand comes down to the floor. Inhale to your side stretch, right arm alongside your ear. On your exhale, softening into the left elbow as you take that side stretch deeper over to the left side. Relax your neck. Head is heavy. There's a sense of rooting the right sit bone down into the floor as you stretch your right fingertips over to the side wall. And make sure you're not collapsing down through the upper body. There's this sense of almost revolving the heart space up toward the sky. Listening into the sound of your breath. Can you breathe louder than any distracting thoughts that might be popping into your mind right now? Use your next full inhale to draw you up. Keep the neck relaxed, so left ear still moves to left shoulder, the right arm's on the diagonal. Option to bring left hand onto the side of your chest, just so that you feel this is the space that we want to be opening up. And then gently just allow the back of your right hand to move toward the space behind you. So starting to feel an opening through the front of the chest. You can keep a soft bend in that right elbow, the arm can be straight. Just figure out what feels best for your body. And then from there, with the neck relaxed and the head heavy, maybe just start to take those little movements through the chin. So turning your chin really slowly in a circle until you find a little sweet spot that quite obviously needs a bit of a tension, a bit of stretch, a bit of breath. And pause there and just breathe into that space. And again, this is a really nice way to experiment with sattva, with harmony, because a lot of the time when we're carrying tension through the neck, we pause and we breathe into it, and it feels that sort of fiery, intense sensation to begin with, and then as we breathe into it, everything starts to ease out. We start to allow the muscle fibers a little bit of time and space to open up, and eventually everything starts to feel a lot more open, and we feel that sense of release and relief. So just a couple more nice big breaths here. Again, see if you can locate any other spaces in the body where you can soften right now. Spaces in the body that can switch off. Good, one more really big inhale. Bring the left hand onto the side of your head just to assist it back up to the top, and then move into your twist from there. So the left hand comes behind, crossing the right hand over the right foot, either staying here with the spine long, or if you're moving into that slightly deeper variation of the twist, by taking the right elbow into the sole of your foot and then pressing top hand onto the bottom hand to revolve through the spine. Please feel free to take it there. So every inhalation, there's this sense of lengthening through the spine, creating a little bit more space between your vertebrae, so that on the exhale, when we soften into the belly, we have more space to move into. Getting that balance between moving into the posture at the right speed versus forcing ourselves into the posture. And when the body starts to resist, we know that we're trying to move too fast often. Another big inhale. Exhale, unravel, face the front. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out, let it go, and we'll move on to our back for some forest abs. So plant your feet to the floor, make this transition as mindful as the rest of the practice. Gently start to take yourself all the way down onto your back, and once you get there, if you do have any issues with low back today, you can keep the feet on the floor and just do the upper body work. But if everything's feeling okay, just float the feet away from the floor. Think about making that right angle through the legs. So heels line up with knees, knees line up with hips, and then interlace your fingers and pop the hands around the back of the head, both elbows pointing straight up toward the ceiling. Taking it through star spiral pulse today. So just follow my instruction here. Nice deep inhale into belly. Feel the low back pressing down into the floor, and as you exhale, take your elbows towards your left knee and straighten your right leg, sole of the right foot to sky. Now take another deep breath in. On your exhale, draw low belly down and pulse your right foot to the sky for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bend the right knee, bring the upper body to center, hold the breath, press your low back into the mat, and then exhale, both elbows to right knee, left leg straightens. Inhale, exhale, pulse the sole of your left foot to the sky now for 3, 2, 1. Keep drawing low belly down. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows travel toward the left knee, right leg straightens. Draw low belly down. Inhale, exhale, draw low belly down again as you pulse right foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows toward the right knee, left leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, draw low belly down. Pulse left foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back into the mat. Exhale, both elbows to left knee, right leg straightens. Draw low belly down. Inhale strongly. Exhale, squeeze low belly down as you pulse right foot to sky for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, left leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, draw low belly down. Pulse left foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows to left knee, right leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, draw low belly down, pulse right foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back into the mat. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, left leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, draw low belly down, pulse left foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Good. Just one more to each side. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows to left knee, right leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, draw low belly down, pulse right foot to sky for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to center. Hold the breath, press low back to mat. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, straighten the left leg. Inhale. Finally, exhale, draw low belly down, pulse left foot to sky for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Nice big stretch out, or maybe hug the knees into the chest if you prefer. Just have a moment relaxing through the tummy, making any sighs out through the mouth if you need them. And when you're ready, roll yourself over to one side and slowly make your way up onto all fours. So we're just going to take a little bit of time to warm up the upper body. So from all fours, gently lower your elbows down to the mat, moving into dolphin pose. So you need the elbows to be fairly narrow here. A good way to measure the distance is just to make sure that you can quite easily take hold of the opposite upper arm. And if you have any discomfort in the shoulders at the moment, I'd really recommend interlacing the fingers. But if you normally work with the forearms parallel, please feel free to take that option. So just do what feels best in your shoulders this morning. So once you've set up your arms, take a moment here. Allow the chest to dump down to the floor for a moment. Belly dumps down, everything kind of feels a bit floppy. So we know that that's the sensation that we want to avoid when we're moving into any of our forearm balances. So take a moment just to draw the shoulders away from the ears to create that space, and then to press through the forearms. So we start to round through the upper back, feeling that wrapping through the shoulders. We're going to explore that a little bit more today. So curl under the toes, and when you're ready, lift your bottom up high like you do for downward facing dog. Note that the head is away from the floor. Gently start to maybe walk the toes a little bit closer toward the elbows. So just really listening into your body. If that's too much for the hamstrings this morning, you can keep your dolphin pose a little bit longer, but maybe you're walking the feet in a little bit closer. Eventually the bottom will stack directly over top of shoulders. Now really focus on what's going on in the upper body here. You still have that sense of pressing the forearms down into the mat, rounding up between the shoulder blades, and then see if you can relax the neck and the head. So again, unclenching the jaw, finding that space to soften through the neck and the head, even in this very dynamic pose. Now on your inhale, if you wish to take it deeper, stretch your left leg up toward the ceiling. You could flex through left toes or point them, but have a sense that they're being almost magnetized toward the ceiling via an upward energy. Nice big breaths. Try not to dump down into one shoulder or the other. Try to keep that sense of balancing the weight between both arms. Good. If you've lifted the left leg, gently lower left toes down to the floor and then inhale to stretch your right leg high. Again, active foot, either point the toes or flex them, but have that sense that that right leg is being lifted up toward the sky. So again, you're pulling up through the kneecap, you're activating the toes. The right leg is super active, super energized. And the left foot is still pressing the mat away. 2 more really nice big breaths. Good. Gently replace right foot down to the floor if you lifted. Take your knees to the mat, sit back onto your heels just for a moment and give your shoulders a roll out. Backwards a couple of times, forwards a couple of times. Well done. And when you're ready, find your way to standing at the top of your mat. So again, if there's any discomfort in the low back today, have the feet about hip distance apart. Otherwise, step them side by side. Find Tadasana. Inhale, roll the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale, draw the shoulder blades back and down, palms face forwards. Have a moment just to feel into your body, feel into that sense of pressing the mat away with the feet, lifting up through the arches, kneecaps drawing up, belly lightly drawing in, crown of the head almost magnetized to ceiling. Good. On your next inhale, begin to bend your knees and lengthen your arms up alongside your ears, finding your way into chair pose, Utkatasana. Nice deep breaths. On the exhales, there's a sense of just gently tucking the tailbone under to lengthen through the low back. Arms are active. Couple more big breaths here. Really squeeze the inner thighs into the center line. Start to switch on the legs. Weight moving back into the heels. Another big inhale. Exhale, forward fold, hands touching down to the floor. Breathe in, step your feet back to find high plank. Pause there. Soften into the elbow creases just slightly and feel like you're almost wrapping, hugging into the center line. So again, we're creating that switching on sensation between the shoulders. Gently lower both knees down to the mat. And on an exhale, allow the belly and chest to travel all the way down. Inhale, low cobra variation. Walk the hands slightly forwards on the mat. Press the palms firmly into the floor as you drag your heart space between the elbows to lift up. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. Good, slowly bring the chest all the way down. Hands replace under shoulders, tuck your toes, find your way back into downward facing dog. Maybe taking a moment or two to pedal out through the feet if that feels good for you this morning. Opening up into the hamstrings, into the calves. Spreading the palms really wide. Well done. Find stillness through your feet. Inhale, look forward. Step your left foot between your hands. Give it a helping hand to bring it through if needed. Moving up into high lunge. Keep a certain softness in the back knee as you lengthen the arms up alongside the ears. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl under the tailbone. Soften into the right knee more and more until you're just hovering it an inch or two away from the mat. Deep breaths in. Full breaths out. Good. Next, exhale, lower hands to floor. Step back into your high plank. If you're ready for full chaturanga, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, lowering knees, chest and belly down to the mat. Inhale, heart space shines forwards into cobra or maybe upward facing dog. And then exhale, moving all the way back into downward facing. Relax the head and neck. Heels are lengthening down toward the floor. Good. Next, inhale, look forwards. Step right foot between the hands for high lunge. Soften into the back knee as you rise up. Hands, fingertips active, spread the palms wide. Exhale, curl under the tailbone and start to sink a little deeper into the back knee until it's floating just a couple of inches away from the mat. Use your Ujjayi breath to fire up your left quad even further. Feel it switched on, feel it working here. Good, one more big breath in. Exhale, hands touch down to the floor, look to the top of the mat and step forwards this time into a forward fold. On an inhalation, bend the knees, find Utkatasana once more, sweeping the arms up alongside the ears. Pause here, curl tailbone under, lengthen through fingertips, breathing in, and then exhale, hands to prayer position at heart center, coming all the way up. Again, inhale, bend the knees to Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, step back into high plank. Exhale, lower through chaturanga or half chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Breathing out to downward facing. On your next inhale, step your left foot between your hands to find warrior two. So nice wide stance. Ground the back heel down to the floor, sweep the arms all the way up and over. Good, and as you get there, relax the arms down by the side body for a moment. Going to take a moment to unlock the shoulders. Left arm comes out in front, making that right angle through the left elbow. Right thumb comes into the left armpit, wrapping the right fingertips around the outer edge of the shoulder. Now, like we did in our dolphin pose, inhale, send the shoulder up to the ear, and then exhale, send it straight back and draw it down as far as you can. Good. Inhale, now take the right hand onto the left bicep, and as you exhale, send your left elbow as far forwards as you can. Good. Inhale, right hand comes to the inner edge of the left elbow. Exhale, press actively the elbow into the hand into the elbow. Keep pressing, 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 breathing nice and deeply. Feel that intensity build in the left pectoral, left shoulder. Good, and then gently release. Roll the shoulder out slightly, let it go. Good, now from here, left forearm to thigh, finding our way into side angle variation. Right hand wraps behind. Take hold of waistband or the top of the left hip, whatever feels good. Inhale to center of heart space, roll the chest open. And then on the exhale, if you wish to take it deeper, you might want to take the fingertips down to a block or the floor, or if you know you're able to work with a bind here, please feel free to move into that. Again, feel the spaces in this posture where you can feel like you're dynamic, and then the other spaces where you can feel like you're able to soften. So the legs are really, really strong. There's a sense that you're revolving the heart space, you're not kind of dumping the upper body down, there's still effort through the belly, through the intrinsic core muscles. But maybe you're able to relax the neck, left ear to left shoulder, head is heavy. Notice how that perhaps makes the posture a bit more challenging as well. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, look toward the front foot, take the fingertips to the floor and lower the back knee down. Inhale, interlace both hands onto your left thigh. Now coming into arrow lunge from here, this is quite a tricky posture, doesn't feel right in everyone's body, so if it doesn't, you can always tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee for this one. But otherwise, I want you to keep the top of the back foot on the floor. Take a really deep inhale, exhale, press the top of your right foot into the floor and see if you can lift the right knee up and away. Now use your left leg here, really press strongly through your left heel. And you can either keep your hands on the front thigh or you're welcome to stretch your arms up alongside your ears. Deep breaths in, big breaths out. Good, just a couple more. Use your drishti, your gaze, to really lock on your focus. Soften the shoulders. Again, notice there's spaces in the body which can relax in this pose, even though it's quite dynamic and intense. Good, gently lower the back knee down to the floor, fingertips to the mat, and make your way into a little half hero pose. So sitting the bottom back onto the right heel, the left leg is long, nice deep inhale, and then breathing out, walking your fingertips forwards to fold over your left leg. Now, if this angle in the right knee just doesn't feel right for you today, that's fine. You can come more into a half Hanuman variation with the bottom stacking over the back knee. So really paying attention to your body, what it's saying to you this morning. Wherever you are, try to keep your left leg nice and active. So as you pull up through the left kneecap, you're giving the left hamstring a little bit more space to open. And allow the upper body just to melt down. Chin tucks to chest so that the whole spine is long. Listening to the breath, deep breaths in, full breaths out. Good, one more. Inhale, look forwards, lifting back up onto your hands and then taking it back into high plank. Big exhale, meet me all the way down on your belly. Pausing here, so lengthening the tops of the legs out along the floor. Take your fingertips onto your sit bones, so you're just kind of resting them underneath your butt cheek. Activate your legs, point the toes, pull up through the thighs, big breath in. Now exhale, just lift the legs. Feel your glutes, your buttocks squeezing down toward the sit bone so that the lower glutes are active. Feel that the legs are really energized, which helps them feel a little bit more weightless and makes it feel slightly easier to lift them a little higher. Couple more nice deep breaths here. Good. Gently take the hands down to the floor, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Using your down dog as your moment to rest. And if it feels more intuitive to just come down into a child's pose for a moment instead, you're of course welcome to take that. On your next inhale, right foot steps forwards for the second side. So warrior two to start with, ground the back heel down, sweeping the arms all the way up and over. And then relaxing the arms down by the side body. Make sure that you're sinking nice and deeply into the front knee. So taking our little unlocking of the shoulder on the right side this time, bending into the right elbow, make sure that you've got that right angle in the arm, and left thumb comes into the right armpit this time. So you're wrapping your fingers around. So again, breathe in, take your right shoulder up to your ear, and then exhale, take your shoulder back and draw it down as far as you can. Another big inhale, left hand onto the right bicep, exhale, draw the right elbow as far forwards into space as you can. Good, now inhale, left hand comes to the inner edge of the right elbow. Press your hand into the elbow, elbow into the hand, keep pressing, 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 and start to feel your chest muscles switching on, your shoulder switching on. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. One more, really keep that resistance going. And then gently release. Take a moment, roll the shoulder out a couple of times. Now from here, we're going to take it both arms at the same time. So making those right angles through the upper arms. Now inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, send them straight back. Exhale all the way down. Good. Inhale, send both elbows forwards into space. And then exhale, hug the elbows into the center line. You might get a little wobble going on in the arms. You really want to create that resistance in the upper body. And again, start to feel the backs of your shoulders switching on. The chest muscles are flexing. So pectoral muscles might be starting to get a little warmer as well. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Good, and then gently release. Well done. Roll it out if you need. Taking it into side angle, right forearm to thigh. Option to wrap your left hand behind the back, holding waistband or the top of the hip. Relax the neck. Again, have that sense of keeping the heart space open towards ceiling. And if you're taking this deeper, by allowing the right fingertips to come down to a block or the floor, or maybe even finding a bind here, just do what feels right for you. Again, feeling that the legs are super strong and active. The upper body has a lift and a rotation to it toward the ceiling. But the shoulders can soften, the head can just let go. Big breaths in. Deep breaths out. One more. Well done. Look down to the front foot, spiral the hands to the floor, lower your back knee all the way to the mat. So untuck the back toes, moving into our arrow lunge once more. So interlacing the hands onto the front thigh. Big breath in. Now on your exhale, you're pressing the top of the left foot into the mat and lifting the left knee up and away. Actively press the floor away with your right foot too. Now you might want to take the arms up alongside the ears here. So remember, if it's too much for the back foot, you can curl under the toes, come more into like a high lunge position. But if not, keep that focus and strength in your legs. Keep that activity in the arms, reaching up toward the sky, again like you're magnetized toward the ceiling. Couple more really big and expansive breaths here. Good, gently lower the back knee down to the mat and find your way into your half hero pose as you sit your bottom onto the back heel. Right leg is extended, fingertips walk forwards, and the upper body just melts down towards your extended leg. Now remember, if that's too much, you can always come into your half Hanuman variation with the bottom stacking over the left knee. Close your eyes for a moment and give yourself the opportunity to sink deeper. Again, just exploring what movements through that right foot can maybe help the stretch feel a lot deeper or a lot more comfortable. So play around by activating through the right toes, flexing them, by pulling up through the right thigh. Maybe you want to point through the toes. Maybe you want to soften the toes slightly because there's too much tension in the calf. Making it your practice, your variation of each posture. One more nice inhale. And then exhale, walk the hands forwards. Find your way back into your high plank and lower yourself down to your belly. Now arms come alongside the body with the palms facing down toward the floor. Point through the toes, nice big breath in. Exhale, lift the chest, lift the legs, but keep the palms of the hands down. So with the palms of the hands down, feel that you have the ability to draw the shoulders back and broaden through the front body. Now think about where we had our fingertips on our sit bones in the last round. So really squeezing down into the low glutes. See if you can lift up a little higher through the legs. Ask yourself, are my legs active? Am I pulling up through kneecaps? Am I pointing the toes? And then gently come all the way down. Well done. Hands under shoulders, curl under your toes, lift yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full exhale. Maybe sigh out or lion's breath out through the mouth if you need. Just do whatever feels right for you today. Inhale, left foot between your hands. Warrior one this time. So ground the back heel down to the floor, lift up through the arms. Now sink nice and low into the front knee. Left arm comes underneath right for eagle arms. So if shoulders are tight, hold on to opposite shoulders. Otherwise, wrap the forearms. Big breath in, lift the elbows up to the height of your nose. Exhale, press them forwards into space. Now you have the option here of just letting the weight of the head move down into the upper arm. Maybe closing the eyes. Breathing into the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders. Again, noticing how relaxing the head and neck changes the feel of the posture. Another deep breath in. Exhale, gently lift the head back up onto the center line. Unravel the arms, take the fingertips to your hips and turn your left toes in. So you've got a nice wide leg stance now, setting up for Prasarita. Inhale, stretch your hands to ceiling. Exhale, start to hinge yourself forwards. If the hands can't touch down to the floor, keep them on your shins. Otherwise, maybe lining up your fingertips with your toes, hinging from the hips, crown of the head coming down toward the floor. So just take a moment to fold forwards. Feel the weight distribution in your feet. So taking the weight more toward the balls of the feet than the heels and pressing through the outer edges of the feet to lift up through your arches. Now get into your Ujjayi breath, get into your deep belly breathing. Well done. Start to walk both hands toward your back foot, toward your right foot. Now take hold of the leg where you can. Left hand will hold onto maybe the shin, maybe the ankle. The right hand, you have the option to thread it through that gap between your left arm and right leg and take it across to hold onto your left leg. And as you do that, you might be able to turn your gaze underneath the left armpit and start to twist through the body. So really big breath here. Nice deep twist just to start to stimulate our digestive system, Also really, really helpful for warming up the spine, keeping that synovial fluid in the joint active, which is really important for having a nice healthy back. Good, couple more really big breaths. And then gently release. Well done. Walk the hands either side of your front foot, lower the back knee down to the floor. And now we're going to take our left hand to our left ankle and gently, move around this way, snuggle the left shoulder behind the left knee as far as you can. Keep wiggling and wriggling it underneath. And once you've taken it as far as possible, left hand comes down to the floor. Now take hold of that left ankle with the right hand and see if you can just slowly and gently, eventually you're going to hook your head around the back of the ankle. Now that might not happen today and that's fine, but we're just creating that direction and intention. So nice deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Again, try not to force ourselves deeper into the posture, just giving our body a little bit of space, a little bit of time to move deeper into the pose. Relax the neck and the head. Again, one of those postures where we really have to soften in order to take ourselves deeper. 2 more big breaths. Good, and then gently release. Hands touch down to the floor, step back into high plank. Big breath out, lower all the way down to your tummy. Inhale, cobra or up dog, your choice. And then breathe out, find your way back into downward facing. Deep breath in. Exhale, let go of the anticipation of the second side. Inhale, right foot between the hands, warrior one. So ground the back heel down to the floor, lift up through the arms, straight into eagle arms, right arm underneath left. Hold shoulders, wrap forearms, do what feels right for you today. Wherever you're at with the elbows, inhale, lift them as high as you can. Exhale, press them forwards into space. Now soften chin to chest, relax your forehead into your upper arms. Big breaths in. Full breaths out. Stretching out the back of the shoulders. Maybe see if you can close the eyes here. Notice how that feels for the low body. Again, low body is dynamic, upper body is a bit softer, is able to melt down a little bit more. 2 more. Good, gently lift the head, unravel the arms, fingertips touch onto the hips and the right toes turn in. So finding that nice wide-legged stance. Inhale, exhale, hinge yourself all the way forwards, moving into your wide leg forward fold, your prasarita. Hands touch down to the floor for a moment and we're just hinging ourselves all the way over, crown of the head reaching down toward the floor. Let gravity draw you down. Well done. Now from here, taking it into our egg beater, walking the hands to the back foot again. So this time, walking our hands over to the left foot. So you want to take hold of your left shin or ankle with the right hand. And you can either move more into a flank stretch here just by drawing yourself closer to the back leg, or you're going to thread your left arm in that gap between your right arm and left leg and reach the top of the right. And if you can take hold of the top of the opposite leg, start to revolve through your body. Is it possible to gaze underneath your right armpit? Deep breaths in, full breaths out. Those expansive breaths really, really helping us here to give our internal organs a bit of a massage. Two more. Well done, gently release. Hands walk either side of front foot. lower your back knee down to the floor nice and gently. So again, I'll swivel around. We're going to allow the upper body to lower down. Right hand comes onto right ankle, and just gently begin to wiggle the right shoulder a little bit further behind the right knee. Now, if it's possible, bring the right hand down to the floor. And then from there, left hand comes onto the right ankle, and we're gently drawing the head a little bit further. So eventually we'll be able to hook our head underneath the right ankle. So there's a sense of pressing the mat away with the sole of the right foot. The legs are still fairly dynamic. There's a sense of gently creating that direction with the left arm. So you're drawing you're using your left hand to draw slightly deeper underneath your right leg. And then you really press through the back of the leg, back of the head. So that eventually, at some point, maybe you can hook your head underneath. Stay with your breath. Try to breathe deeper and louder than those thoughts in your mind. Well done. One more inhale. And then gently start to release. So taking the hands out. This time, step your right knee back alongside your left. Big toes together, knees wide. Find your way into child's pose. Taking a couple of moments here. Forehead touching down to the floor. Upper body resting forwards. Length through the spine. Good, and then slowly start to walk the hands back towards you and lift all the way up. So as you sit onto your seat, take your legs out in a straddle position. So legs come nice and wide. I always like to just take my hands under the backs of my thighs, so there's a feeling of just sort of sliding the flesh of my seat outwards to create a little bit of an internal rotation through the inner thighs. Feet are active, toes flexing nice and fully, and we'll just take a side stretch before we move down to the floor. So left hand comes to the inner edge of the left leg. Inhale, stretch your right arm up alongside your ear. Now keep your right sit bone pressing down into the floor as you lengthen all the way over toward your left foot. And again, try to avoid collapsing through the upper body. Think about revolving heart space to sky. Maybe you're relaxing left ear to left shoulder. Maybe eventually you're creeping your fingertips slightly closer toward your left foot, eventually taking hold with both hands. But we may not get there today, and that's totally fine. It's one of those postures where closing off the eyes can be really, really helpful for helping us just to detach from what the pose looks like in our body and helping us to move into how it feels in our body today. So finding that sweet spot, that nice deep stretch where you also feel a sense of release. Well done. Inhale, let the right arm draw you all the way up to the top and take it straight to the second side. So the right hand comes to the inner edge of the right leg, the left arm stretches up alongside your ear, and you're gently softening all the way up and over into your side stretch. Let the head be heavy, let the eyes close. Root down through your left sit bone. There's a tendency here to allow the left sit bone to lift up and away from the floor, so keep it down, keep it connected. And the heart space is revolving toward the ceiling. Unclench your jaw. Final couple of big breaths here. Good. Inhale, let the left arm draw you all the way up to the top. Slowly, gently bring your legs back side by side and find your way down onto your back. Again, making that transition nice and mindful like the rest of your practice. And as you get down to the floor, draw both knees into your chest. Have the big toes touching, and just take a moment here to draw some circles through the knees. So just easing out through the back. If you feel like you want to take a little twist or a finishing pose, you're very welcome to. Otherwise, taking those circles through the knees in the opposite direction, feeling a sense of massaging out the low back, the outer hips. And then when you're ready, starting to release into Shavasana, into relaxation. So you might want to take the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out wide. You might prefer to have the legs extended along the floor. Maybe a hand on your heart space, a hand on your belly, so that you can really feel your breath just coming and going through the torso. And as you close your eyes, taking your awareness from your external environment to your internal environment. So allow that chatter of your mind just to begin to quieten now. And observe that natural rise and fall of the breath. And each time you get distracted, each time you get taken elsewhere, just acknowledge your thoughts and come back to that observation of breath. Nothing else to do. Nowhere else to be. Just completely relax. In silence, the soul finds its path in a clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Now, if you have a little bit longer for your relaxation today, I welcome you to stay here as long as you can and just soak it up. But if you know that you need to be making your way, then just start to gently bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet, and allow them to wiggle and wriggle around, drawing energy back into your body. Eventually taking a full body stretch, lengthening the arms above the head, lengthening the legs away. On an exhale, the knees travel to the heart space, you roll yourself to one side, and just take a moment there, pause. Have a moment to acknowledge everything that you've achieved today. To acknowledge that when we take time for ourselves, we start to bring ourselves back into that state of sattva, that state of harmony. And when it feels right for you, come up into your comfortable seated position. The hands will meet at prayer position at the heart center when you arrive. The chin bows to chest. Sealing the energy of our practice today with the sound of Om. If you'd like to join me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Allow that vibration to settle in. And then gently bring the prayer hands up to the space between your eyebrows, lengthen tall. Peace in your thoughts. Take your prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words and in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. What a pleasure it is to see your lovely faces. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Sending you all lots and lots of